Good evening, and welcome to EthioAlert TV. I'm Miss Ghana with tonight's top story. As health professionals across the country staged pre-strike demonstrations yesterday, calling for fair compensation and better working conditions, the Ethiopian Health Professionals Association is now urging the government to take swift action. In a statement issued earlier today, the association emphasized that the demands raised by medical workers are both lawful and justified. It noted that these concerns have already been formally presented to the appropriate government bodies, but warned that the lack of timely and adequate response is pushing professionals to seek other means to voice their grievances. The EHPA expressed its solidarity with the protesting workers, recognizing their right to fight for better treatment. However, the association also called for caution, urging that the movement continue in a manner that does not jeopardize public welfare or national stability. Concluding its statement, the EHPA strongly appealed to the government to stop overlooking the health sector's cries for help and to act immediately before the situation escalates into a broader crisis. We'll continue to follow this developing story and bring you updates as they come in. In a significant diplomatic development, Somaliland President Abdirahman Mohamed Abdullahi, widely known as President Ero, welcomed Ethiopia's top envoy to Somaliland, Ambassador Teshome Shund Hamido, for high-level talks in Hargeisa. The meeting, held on May 6 at the presidential palace, focused on enhancing the already strong relationship between the two neighbors. Somaliland's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Abdirahman Dahir Adan, was also present during the talks. According to reports from local media outlet Horn Diplomat, both parties reaffirmed their shared commitment to strengthening bilateral ties. The discussions touched on key areas including cross-border movement, regional collaboration, and maintaining open and constructive dialogue between the two sides. President Ero emphasized the importance of fostering mutual understanding and cooperation, particularly in matters of travel and trade. The talks come just days after his State of the Nation address, where he announced plans for upcoming state visits to Ethiopia aimed at expanding regional partnerships and boosting diplomatic engagement. This meeting signals a continued effort to promote peace, cooperation, and mutual growth between Somaliland and Ethiopia. Sudan's Army-led Defense Council has announced a dramatic shift in its foreign relations, declaring it will sever all diplomatic ties with the United Arab Emirates. The announcement, made on Tuesday, accuses the UAE of backing the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, with advanced weaponry in Sudan's ongoing internal conflict. The council claims the UAE supplied the RSF with what it described as strategic and advanced weapons, which were reportedly used to launch significant attacks on key infrastructure in Port Sudan since Sunday. This, according to Sudanese authorities, marks a serious escalation in a war that has already spanned nearly 2 years. Labeling the UAE as an aggressor state, the Defense Council stated that Sudan reserves the right to retaliate in order to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Despite repeated denials from Abu Dhabi, Sudanese officials insist the UAE's support for the RSF is clear. International observers, including some UN experts and lawmakers, have echoed concerns based on evidence gathered by human rights organizations. Speaking from the port city of Port Sudan amid visible signs of destruction, Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan vowed that the military would overcome the RSF and those backing it. In his words, the time for retribution will come, and the Sudanese people will prevail. This major diplomatic rift marks a new chapter in the already complex conflict and is expected to have ripple effects across the region. Tensions have dramatically escalated in South Asia after India launched missile strikes into Pakistani-administered Kashmir early Wednesday morning. According to Pakistani officials, the strikes killed at least 19 people, including a child, and left 38 others wounded. India's Ministry of Defense confirmed the attack, stating that it targeted what it described as militant infrastructure linked to the planning of recent terrorist attacks on Indian soil. The strikes reportedly hit 9 separate locations believed to be used by armed groups operating in the disputed Kashmir region. This military action follows a deadly incident last month, where 26 tourists, primarily Indian Hindus, were killed in Indian-administered Kashmir. India has blamed Pakistan for supporting the perpetrators, a claim Islamabad firmly denies. Reacting swiftly, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif condemned the strikes as an act of war, declaring that Pakistan has the right to respond forcefully. He added that a counter-response is already underway. In a separate statement, Pakistan's military claimed to have shot down several Indian fighter jets, with 2 reportedly crashing within Indian-controlled territory. This latest flare-up between the two nuclear-armed neighbors has raised alarm across the international community, with concerns mounting over further military escalation. We'll continue monitoring the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available.